Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Old Guy in the Net. I'm Mark Senna, aka The Old Guy in the Net, and today I'm here to talk a little bit about goaltending equipment, mainly the goaltending equipment that I use. We'll compare what I brought to Florida with me, what I started using here on this court actually, and what I have now. So I have two bags behind me. One on the left is from my ball hockey playing, and the one on the right is my ice hockey equipment. All right, so a little bit about me and goaltending equipment. Brought up in Boston. Maybe you didn't catch on with the accent, but yes, it's true. And single parent home. We didn't have much money at all. Loved playing hockey, was often in the street playing street hockey, where it didn't require much equipment at all. I think we used to cut out couch cushions to wear as goaltender pads. We'd put on a baseball glove, and then we would find an old forward glove, and we'd use that as our blocker. So, you know, the equipment that we used, we didn't buy any of it. There wasn't any money to buy equipment. Fast forward a few years later, you know, now I'm playing, I want to get into ice hockey. Again, the equipment is very expensive at that time. There wasn't any money. So I started to get hand-me-down equipment, but it was forward equipment. The goaltending equipment, it was like, yes, I wanted to play, but it was so far out of reach. It was, I just knew I couldn't ask my parents to possibly part with whatever it was, $500 to buy me equipment so I could play hockey. So I started on the ice as a defenseman, and you know, I played defense all the way up until my freshman year in high school. Again, mainly because I didn't have goaltending equipment. That was really it. We couldn't afford it, and there wasn't. I didn't have friends around who were playing and could hand me down their equipment that they were no longer using. So that was the case until I got to high school. And then by then I had started to slowly collect pieces. And in high school, the coach had an extra pair, and I borrowed those. So pretty much everything through my high school career, when I think back on it, was hand-me-down equipment. Nothing was, I know that for a fact, nothing was newly purchased. Nothing. Everything was used secondhand, third hand, pass me down, everything. When I look back on my video of my senior year, I look at the pads I'm wearing, the gloves, everything, all that stuff was borrowed. Nothing of it was purchased, and nothing against my parents. They were trying hard to make ends meet, and still paid for me to play hockey. It was just that extra money, as you know, all out there. It costs a lot to be a goaltender. So which brings me to today. So high school's over, college is over. Now I'm an adult. I'm making my own money, and that was one of the things I did, was bought my own equipment right away. In Boston, we have a lot of play it again sports stores, so I would go in there and often browse the aisles and just look for, again, hand-me-down equipment, but in a lot better shape than what I was accustomed to using. So that continued and still continues to this day. Here in Florida, where I am, we have play it again sports stores, but they don't stock much hockey equipment, especially goalie equipment. Just very few pieces to choose from. Once in a while you'll get lucky and find something, but you can't depend on that. So I turned to a website, Sideline Swap, and ever since finding that, I was a little skeptical, like probably many of you. You're looking at stuff without putting it on your hand, like especially goalie gloves, right? We want to feel it. We want to see if the pocket's deep enough. We want to know if it smells. Just how it fits on our hand. Is it too big? Is it too loose? Is it So all that stuff, I had the same concerns as well, but I took a risk and bought a glove from a gentleman in Canada, and then waited, you know, and had to ship from Canada. Took about a week, got it, and was so impressed with the glove that it turned me on to pursuing all kinds of equipment on Sideline Swap, and I've had nothing but success. I'm going to show you a lot of the stuff I have here today is from Sideline Swap. Highly recommended. It's the place to go for used goalie equipment, in my opinion, and it serves both, you know, the USA and Canada. The unique and cool thing about that app, the way they work, is you buy it, the funds are held by the Sideline Swap staff, I guess you should, or the app, and are not released until you receive the item and you say, yes, it's good, I'm happy with it, I want to keep it. Then the funds are released to the seller. So both parties are protected. You won't get ripped off, people. Your money is safe with Sideline Swap. Highly recommend it. They're not paying me to say that. I'm going to show you why I'm saying that and what I've heard from them, and how much. And still to this day, I'm on there every other day, maybe, browsing goalie equipment. So let's get into my ball hockey.
What's in the bag?
All right, this is what's in the bag. These are Sherwood goaltender pads. They are 32 inches, much too small for me to wear on the ice, but here on the street, they're great. I have my wife very upset with me that I spray painted them. They were once red and black. I put a can of spray paint on them a few weeks ago, and I kind of like them. I gotta maybe hit the side here a little more, but I've added this piece here, sewed that on, attached that to protect my toes. You can see that. Otherwise, leather pad. Probably for this type of surface, I should add some of those plastic sliders. Haven't got around to doing that yet. But these things have been great. I bought them from Play It Again Sports here in Florida for about 40 bucks. And I've been wearing them ever since. So that is my current ball hockey pants. These are Vaughn's, Vaughn Light Pros. Actually, when I got here to Florida, I was wearing these pants on the ice and street. Nothing big about these, just your regular pair of pants, but they are goalie pants. But again, they were serving as both. And that was that quick, you know, as I started playing street hockey and slowly got into ice hockey, I quickly knew I needed at least 2 goaltending setups. One for the ice, one for the street. So underneath those goalie pads, I wear these knee pads. Highly recommended if you find your knee is coming out of the pad, especially when going down the butterfly, right? For me, I'll show you. Sometimes the pad will slide either way. When I go down to the butterfly, it slides and my knee's exposed. So I want to protect that, and these knee pads do a tremendous job for that. And especially, you know, when you go down, not so much in ball hockey, but in ice hockey, when you go down and you have that knee area exposed, these right here will save you from bruises and missing games. These things are expensive now. Even on Sideline Swap, like maybe $85, somewhere in there. Brand new, they're like $120. Very expensive, but you'll buy them once and they'll still last forever. They should. All right, what I wear on my feet. I've always, from the days of way back here playing in Leominster, always wore high top leather sneakers. There's a goalie company out there now, Resonate, I believe it's called, that are making these with a strap, buckle back here to keep the pad connected to the shoe, and a tie down in the front to keep the pad on the front of the shoe. If you have the money, go for it. They look great. very stylish, but I'm kind of cheap. I don't want to spend that kind of money, and these things serve me great. High tops, highly recommended. Give you a little support, protect your ankle. I got these, believe it or not, for 20 bucks at a factory outlet store, Reebok factory outlet store in Orlando, Florida. $20. Should have bought 5 pairs of them. Okay, the glove setup for ball hockey, and at the time, ice hockey. Actually, both of them. I was wearing both of them. This is a Vaughn Legacy B6000. Obviously beat up. I repaired the entire palm myself, restitched a new palm in there. Once this thing gets a little wet, it's much easier to use. And this I've had for so many years. Great glove. I was using it in ball hockey up until a couple weeks ago. I'm not ready to just throw it in the dumpster and hold on to it for a little longer. But it was when I got here, using it for ball hockey and ice hockey. The catching glove. What is this? This is a Vaughn 7500. One of my favorites. Vaughn Velocity. The only thing for ball hockey for me is every time the ball would hit, it would bounce right out. It doesn't keep the ball in there. The pocket maybe isn't deep enough. I don't know if there's any gloves out there where the ball will not spin out. I think that's just one of the things with playing ball hockey. It comes in with a lot of spin, and oftentimes you use the glove not so much to catch it, it's more to just stop it, block it. But great glove. Obviously has seen better days, but it has served me very well. And again, was using this up until a few days ago. So my other goalie friend here that does YouTube videos, RS Spike, was selling his set. We didn't even know we were both YouTube personalities, if you will, but end up purchasing his gloves, pads, helmet, and arm pads, which you'll see later in this video, off of Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, another place to find good used goaltender stuff. And these, I immediately felt like I could use these playing ball hockey. The pocket is massive, great pocket. The ball seems to stay in there a little better. It closes well. Obviously it has seen better days. That's why I'm not taking it out onto the ice. I use it for ball hockey only, but it's a great upgrade, I feel, to my Vaughn. And yeah, I'm very pleased with it. Same with the blocker, matching blocker, Simmons. I've never used Simmons. This is my first time. Palm's in decent shape. I'm enjoying it. I almost feel like this glove's like cheating. It feels bigger than any glove I've had on. So I feel like I'm cheating with this, which is all right. We goalies are always looking for an edge. So these are my current street hockey gloves. Arm pads. What are these? Vaughn arm pads, a Vaughn 3600. My first game in Florida, I put these on. It was about 85 degrees sunny, January 1st, and I nearly died. They're meant for ice hockey, but they're not meant for ball hockey. I was plenty protected, but I was overheating. I knew I had to find a more lightweight arm pad that offered some protection, but more allowed my body to breathe, and I'll show you what I came up with. So I came up with these Milik MK3s. Oh man, do I really want to rip this company to shreds? Well, let me just tell you this. guys. I wear them because they're really lightweight here. But we got to do better. We got to do better. These are your senior, so adult arm pads. When I wear them, they hang down to about there. That's the way they sit. So my entire chest area right here is exposed. I've gotten so many shots off of the collarbone, off of this area, as I hit my microphone. Also, the elbow attachment here has moved. I've damaged my right elbow because it's not in place. And you know, I've modified this quite a bit. You can see some of my stitching in there. I've had to tape this up here to keep this extra padding flush to my body. But these aren't, like, I've had these only a few months. I shouldn't have to do all those modifications on a brand new item. I just feel like, you know, they get it with the lightweight materials, but this setup is really not impressive. I don't recommend these right now, people. I don't. I feel like the company can do better. All right, for my helmet, this is my original HM30 mask, which goes all the way back to my high school playing days. Yes, I've kept it with me. Obviously painted a few times. You can see it's chipped, it's rusty underneath there. But attached it to a newer model helmet here, CCM, and love it. You know, I wouldn't wear this out on the ice today. It's a single bar construction here. Doesn't offer as much support. Likely this would get bent. Don't want to go that route on the ice. But ball hockey, it's been great. I haven't got any balls stuck in there. It's been spectacular. Before I get into the ice hockey equipment, so real quickly, many of you out there start out, you know, want to get into playing, and I see some of you go out and buy brand new goalie equipment, and you have the best equipment, you know, around. Like, you have professional pads, you have everything, and which is great. Except then I watch some of your videos and you're playing like novice hockey, right? You're playing D-League hockey. And to me, not because I didn't have this equipment or the access to buy this equipment growing up, it's more about, you know, a lot of this equipment, as you grow and reach higher levels of playing goaltender, is meant to protect you more, right? The shots are harder, the players are more skilled. So I see some of you goalies wearing these, you know, top of the line equipment, and you're playing guys that can barely lift the puck. They may crack 40 miles an hour on a slap shot, if the league even allows slap shots. And then I see you not able to move in them. They're all stiff, you're all upright. And then I wonder, you know, how long do you keep this equipment without getting discouraged because you can't move, you feel stiff in it, it's not getting broken in, and some of you, you know, then go and sideline swap and try to unload it. Goalies out there that are watching, you know, especially you new guys, don't do that. Don't, in my opinion, don't buy the brand new stuff. Go on to these used sites and buy some stuff that's been broken in, that you get a great price on. That doesn't have to be the top of the line. It doesn't have to be, you know, professional. It doesn't have to be there. Yes, it looks cool that you have this stuff, but again, it's like, wow. In my opinion, just overkill, right? Yeah, that's what I feel like. It's overkill. Funny story, you know, again, I told you about not having, you know, having to use all this secondhand goalie equipment growing up. So one of the challenges, or one of the things that motivated me back when I was playing, you know, mainly in high school, was for me to look down the other end of the ice and I would see the goalie down there with brand new equipment, fully outfitted, and there I was with all this hand-me-down equipment, and he looked, he looked really good, but I was going to outplay him that game, and many times that's exactly what happened. I didn't look great, but I outplayed my counterpart at the other end of the ice. That's just the way it went. So the equipment isn't everything, folks. The ability, what you have in here, that matters. Peace. All right, welcome back. Technical difficulties at that last site. The couple of things happened. Sun started to cause all kinds of problems with the camera, shut down, it overheated, and also some kids showed up to play basketball, which is adjacent to the hockey court, and didn't want to try to edit out the sound of a bouncing basketball throughout this video, so decided, you know what, it's best to come back here. It's a little cooler, yes, it's tighter, but you've been in here before, back a few episodes ago. I came in here and, you could see the equipment, whatever. This is my hockey equipment closet. So we're going to continue on. I was talking about, goalies having premium gear and playing at the lower levels. All of this is just my opinion. It's from what I've learned over the years. And, again, it's fine having that equipment if that's what you want to do. That's your prerogative. But you're spending a lot of money in a position that, you may not play for a long time. And it's just too much money to throw away. So I'm trying to save you some money by not having you go out and buy all this brand new gear and then decide, goaltending isn't for you. So there are sites, like I've been mentioning, to get used equipment, and it's still good. I mean, I buy it all the time. I'm using it in all my games. Not that I'm playing at any elite level. I'm not. But I'm just saying, the stuff I find is great. You can find pro return equipment on these sites as well. So let's continue. I was getting into my ice hockey equipment and the upgrades that I've made since returning back to play 7 years ago. All right, so these are Vaughn Velocity 2, some V2s. These are pretty old. These things I was using this season. They were great, but I noticed they really started to sag. They've gotten so much use in them. They're very soft. I don't know if you can see this, but the size is 36, but they're playing now more like a 32, 31. They've really shrunk over the years. But these were my go-to pads for some time. I think these will probably end up being my ball hockey pads next, because I love them. They've been great. They've served me well. All right, goalie skates, Reeboks. These are 2Ks. These are probably the cheapest Reebok goalie skates they make. The materials are not the best. The eye holes are ripping because this stuff is not real leather. It's more like, pleather or plastic or something. I don't know what it is. But I've worn these probably for 10 years, got plenty of miles out of them. They've lasted me quite a long time. They're very comfortable. I have no complaints about performance in these skates. These are obviously old school, like the old guy in the net, old school. But I was definitely looking for an upgrade, and I did find one. So looking for an upgrade, but didn't want to get away from the model. I knew those ones fit me well. They were comfortable. I was looking for something very similar. Went into one of the hockey shops and got a quote for, I think they wanted like $1,100, and I didn't buy them. Went on Sideline Swap, came up with these Reebok 16K Obviously, you can see the materials are much better, much improved than the 2K version. Very similar cowl construction, but the skate is so much better. It's it's stiffer. It's, you know, all the eye holes are intact. And on sideline swap, $100. $100, and I love these skates. These are my go-to skates. They will probably last me for my entire career. Yeah. All right, arm pads. So again, you know, you saw these ones earlier I was wearing in the street. I also wear them in the ice. What I found about this particular model, let me hang this up for a minute, was mainly, when I had them on, when I wear them, is my sides, hopefully you can see that, my sides, my ribs are not very protected. And in fact, I've caught a few pucks that really bruised me and that were really painful. And I was very aware of that. So I bought this, it's almost like a soccer jersey I would wear underneath that had, you know, some extra padding in the arms. But the main thing is it had the pads along the ribs that gave me that little extra protection. The only problem with wearing this shirt was it's made of this material, polyester most likely, that traps the heat in. So whenever I'd have this on, if the rink was a little warm, like it is a lot in Ellington where we play, sweat a lot, like overheat. So that was a trade-off. I got the protection, but paid the price in sweating. So with that said, I recently purchased from my friend RS Spike, and these were the arm pads that I bought from him. They're the size-wise medium. They may be a tad small for me, but the protection on this particular model is incredible. These are V7s. They have the wraps, so my ribs will have the protection. I haven't worn these yet, so I can't really give a total review. I've put them on. They definitely feel like I'm bulkier, bigger, that they're going to definitely offer more protection than what I was wearing in the 3600s, I believe these are. But yeah, so these, I'll start wearing these this season, and I'm sure they're going to work out fine. But again, that was the Facebook Marketplace. I got the arm pads, a helmet, a pair of pads you'll see in a few minutes, the 2 gloves, $250. These are the current goalie pads I'm wearing now. What can I say? These are top of the line. This is a pro goalie pad. These are the Bauer Supreme. These were Dan Vladder's when he played for the Boston Bruins. These are pro returns. Bought them brand new. This is like the first brand new piece of equipment I ever owned that came with tags and all. They, in my opinion, they're I feel like they're too big. Dan Vladder is a 6'4" goaltender. I'm 6 feet. These come up pretty high. I put them on sideline swap to try to sell, and they sat there for about 3 months, didn't get much action. I only wanted serious buyers. And then I decided to try them, and I'm glad I did because they're phenomenal. These pads are phenomenal. These are the top of the line. These are the ones that I was talking about earlier when I look down the other end of the ice and I see, you know, a goalie who's just beginning. He has these top of the line pads, and we're not playing very serious hockey, but these happen to fall in my lap on Christmas. My wife got them for me, and I should have these for the rest of my life as well. These, like I said, these are pro pads. These are from the Boston Bruins. Obviously, you can see the colors. If you haven't known, I am a Boston Bruin fan, born and raised in Boston. And to have equipment from an active goaltender in the NHL is pretty cool. I think back of when I was a fan, when I was a little kid. Imagine me having, Gilles Gilbert's goalie glove. That would have been too cool. So to be able to get it now later in life, it's awesome. But I'm not going to put it up on the wall and frame it. I actually use it. I go out on the ice and use it, and grateful that I have the opportunity to buy that equipment. We did the skates upgrade. We got the pads upgrade. We talked about my arm pads upgrade, and now the gloves. All right, matching gloves. These are also Bauer Supremes. These are also Dan Vladder's. These things, the pro gloves are incredible. They feel different. They fit different. They're bigger. I feel like they're bigger. The pocket is nice and big and deep. But I got to tell you, when I first started playing with the blocker mainly, the materials they're using are so lightweight that the fingers had these little pads that were protecting the fingers, these little yellow foam pieces that were sewn in, and within like 4 games they all started ripping out. You can actually see all that material in there. Everything started to shred. They started to fall apart. So I had to sew, repair, remove a lot of them, and kind of put the glove back together. I think it's just, it's Bauer's way of trying to get their gloves light. And in doing so, some of the materials they're using are just not holding up under the stress of playing. So they're still trying to figure it out. But you can see it's Vladder's glove, endorsed by Kay Whitmore. And it's great. I love it. This one, same deal, man, right? So oftentimes in games, all of a sudden the Velcro will come undone like that. And, it's in the middle of the play, and I'm like, what the heck? So in the Velcro, again, the glove's new. It should not be easily detaching like that, but it does. I don't know if it's an issue with this model. I don't know if they should, maybe I sew that in there so it doesn't come undone. I don't really see the need to take that off like that. Maybe to tighten the buckle, but once it's tight one time, it's kind of set. I don't know why you would keep adjusting it. So I think it's kind of a design flaw on this one, to be honest with you. I'm not really digging that, but I love the glove. It's, like I said, bigger than any of these other gloves I've used. I don't like the fact that the white, not the leather, but this white canvas, I don't know what it is. What is that material? Gets so discolored. I've tried cleaning it with OxyClean and other things, and the white really gets dirty. It just doesn't clean up. Moving on. So needed another pair of goalie pants. Didn't want to keep wearing my ice hockey pants on the street, vice versa. Decided those old Vons I would continue to use playing ball hockey with, and got myself a nice pair of, what are these? What model are these? Vaughn. These are Yaroslav Halak, and it's got the nice Bruins emblem on there for you Bruin fans, but I love them. So much protection. Again, pro pants. You can't go wrong with them. And like I said earlier, man, growing up, I didn't have access to any of this stuff. Now, as an older adult, I have money. I can buy this stuff and enjoy it. I definitely paid my dues. Played a long time with the most flimsy equipment. Didn't protect me. Now I have some of the best equipment out there, if not the best. At one point, while I was trying to figure out whether I'm going to keep those pads or not, I started thinking I wanted black pads. I wanted to try to match some of the teams I'm playing for, specifically the Goons team, and started to look at black pads, black gloves, kind of like I said, in between figuring out what I was going to do with those. So I ended up buying some nice black gloves on sideline swap. This was the first one. Beautiful. This is a Von Vision, and actually I think for fitting purposes, probably my favorite glove. It just closes right. I really like this glove. It has a little damage to the side here, but it's minor. And I don't know, man. I love this glove. It's a Von Vision 9500. It fits right. I just like it. This is a CCM E4.5. You know, blocker. No big deal. No, it matches the other glove. That's all I have to say about it. So I got black gloves, but never got the black pads. But what I do from time to time is I will wear them and just switch, you know, they still match. My Bauer Supreme pads have the black in them, so they're fine. Someday maybe I'll get black pads, but that's not today. So my ice hockey helmet is an old Phantom NXI. It's probably from 2000 maybe. Was serving me well. I was wearing it at the beginning playing ball hockey. Wore it on the ice obviously. But it's seen its day. I definitely needed to replace it, upgrade. You know, was looking for a helmet that was actually looking for the same helmet because it fit well. I knew what I was getting. It offered great protection for me and the levels that I was playing at. But I think it was so old that I couldn't find it anywhere being sold. So I had to keep looking. And eventually came upon this one. The regular bird cage. I end up replacing that with this Boss Sport Cat Eye. But I love this helmet. This helmet fits the best. This is like, and it's, you know, for a used helmet, it's like brand new. And, you know, this is an NME3. All right. So again, some of you will say that's plastic. It's not going to protect your head. It's, you know, you're risking your life putting your head in there. It doesn't offer enough protection. I disagree. And the reason I disagree is because these helmets are rated. I'm not playing against professionals, all right? I'm not. Maybe you are. If you are, then by all means get the NME9 and protect your head. There are not many guys that can shoot it 90 miles an hour that I'm going to see, if any. I don't think so. Might be one guy on Friday mornings that I play against who can shoot it well. But I've gotten hit in the head by him and wearing this helmet, and it was fine. And after that, I was convinced that I was safe wearing the helmet. That helmet's black helmet. You see I had the black gloves. So at that time, I'm going with this, you know, all black outfit to match, like I said earlier, my Goons team. And then I say, hey, maybe I need white pads. Home away. Sometimes we wear a dark shirt. Sometimes we wear a white shirt. So let's start looking for white pads, white gloves, white helmet. Found this helmet, Facebook Marketplace, for $100. And it's an iTech 1200. You guys can all laugh at the iTechs and tell me it's not going to protect you. I've heard it all. I've read it all. I've read the reviews. Same thing. I've gotten hit on top of the head square, flush. I've gotten hit on the side. And again, you know, I'm not playing in the pros. Maybe you guys are. If you're playing in the pros or higher levels, by all means, go with the higher end models. For me, playing in men's pickup hockey, local leagues here in Florida, this helmet works fine. I love this helmet. It's great. However, it's not fitting me right. It's not, which is upsetting. It just, when I wear it, my neck hurts me. I don't know what it is. I've tried adjusting all the straps in the back, and I just cannot get it to fit me correctly for some reason. It's just not sitting right. Unlike the Bauer. The Bauer is like, put it on and it feels right. It fits flush. So I think maybe it's just the way my head's shaped. I don't know what it is. But if anybody's interested, I got a iTech 1200, fairly new. Yeah. So continuing with the white theme, I picked up these Vaughn V7s. These feel great. They fit. They're what are they? 34 plus 2. They fit perfectly. They feel like they're meant for butterfly. They feel a little narrower than the Bauer Supremes. I haven't played in them yet. I just picked these up a couple of weeks ago. Have not had the chance to play in them, so I don't have a review on them. I can't tell you what what I think, but I've had the Vaughn V2s and love those. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy these as well. I can see just looking at them, they're about an inch and a half smaller than the Bauer Supremes, which is going to be perfect for me, as I feel like those Bauers are a little too big. All right, what are you doing? You got yellow pads? Yes. So again, when I bought those new Bauer Supremes, I sat on them for months and then decided I'm definitely going to sell them. And I was looking for something similar in those colors and came across these on Sideline Swap. I think I paid $200 for them. They're brand new. They're Bauer Vapor X55s. I feel like they weren't for the butterfly goalie, the way they play. They feel like maybe they were made more for a hybrid, which is me. So they're size 35, and they fit me perfectly. And I was playing in them all the way up until I decided to give the Bauer Supremes a chance. I may have to go back to them. Yeah. Nothing wrong with them. I love them. They're great. And they match the gloves and everything else I have. The helmets, the colors are right. The scheme is right. So I started using those, and I started to look for yellow and black gloves and show you what I found. So I found this one. Beautiful Reebok. It's still kind of stiff. It needs a little more breaking in. It definitely matches the color scheme of those pads. So if anybody out there has a blocker, a matching blocker, yellow and black and white, I'm interested. Drop me a line. But yeah, I need to find the matching blocker to go with this, and then that will complete that setup. And this is coming from a guy who grew up not having any goalie equipment. Now I'm on my third or fourth setup. Some of you are asking, why do you have so many? Why you can only use one at a time. Very true, but I don't know. Once you stop buying pieces on Sideline Swap that match this setup, it's like it doesn't stop you. I need to stop though. The wife is telling me to stop. I cannot continue. Maybe one more setup. Hold on. All right, these are iTech X-Wings. These are old. These are very old. I've hung on to them. A friend gave these to me, about probably 15 years ago. Jimmy, he was cleaning out a basement, and I think the homeowner was about to throw them away, and he took them and gave them to me. But these are Access X-Wings. These are 37. I thought at the time they were too tall for me. They feel like it. But you know what? Of all the pads I've used, these ones, when I drop down on the butterfly, I don't know if it's the material that they're made from, but you can really hear the pad hit the ice, and you feel, and it covers the 5-hole. And there's something about them. I don't know what it is. I don't know if people out there, anybody else that played in the iTex will say the same. But yeah, when I drop down on the butterfly, bang, the pads hit the ice and they make a certain sound that I just feel like I know I've sealed the ice. I've sealed that bottom. These other pads I've used, I have never felt that. The V7s, I mean the V2s, the Bauer 60 X55s, the Supremes, different noise, definitely sealing the bottom of the ice, but it's different than the iTex. Different experience. I'm curious what you guys have to say about all of the different pads that I have and your thoughts. So please comment, share. So yeah, so I have red pads. I've had them for years. I kind of once in a while will look around for red gloves to go with them, but I don't know. I don't use them. I don't wear them too often. Once in a while you'll see them show up in a video. So look, if red gloves happen to show up on Sideline Swap or Marketplace, could I be persuaded into buying them? You know it. You know it. But I think 4 setups would be enough. 4 ice hockey setups, and then obviously the 1 setup for ball hockey. I have a couple of other items that were just kind of picked up along the way. I'll show you. So this Bauer Supreme S190, I think it's like intermediate glove, but it was in great shape and it was only 60 bucks. I kind of couldn't resist at the time. At that time, this was way back, I really didn't know which way I was going with my equipment setups. Now it's weird to kind of find like it doesn't have a home. I haven't used it, so we'll figure it out. And I bought these pants while I was out in Vegas. While I was in Vegas, I went on their local Facebook marketplace, and a gentleman was selling these. These are Vaughn V5s, goalie pants. Excellent. And the reason why I bought them is because the Bruins Vaughn pants that I have here, these are really big. Halak is a big guy. I need a smaller pair for the bigger pads. Those goalie pads come way up. With these, it was just, they were all bunching up. These ones here are a little smaller, so everything fit better. So I, depending on what pair of pads I'm wearing, decides on what pants I'm wearing. More arm pads. So when I bought the black Bauer helmet, I also picked up these arm pads. Sorry. Picked up these arm pads, and they were made for street. I can't wear these outside here in Florida. They're just too heavy. I will die of heat exhaustion, quite frankly. But I think indoors, if I ever get there, these will be a great alternative to the Milek M3s that I've been wearing that I told you offer zero protection. Yeah, I've worn these once on the ice. I don't know what Bauer was doing here. I really don't. The materials are pretty cheap. I think they're meant just for street hockey, or maybe for someone, a teenager or something just starting out. I don't know. I don't know where they're going with this, because everything is just, it's cheap. It's cheap, but for ball hockey, it'll work for me, for sure. And again, much more protection than the Milek MK3s. Anything else? I think that's it. I think, yeah. Yeah, hold on. So, goalie sticks. All right, my favorite stick right now is this one. These Bauer Supremes. you know, you're talking to a guy who grew up playing goalie in the 80s, and everything was wood and everything was really heavy, really heavy. These things, when you pick up, you can pick them up with your pinky finger. They are so light, durable. They don't all chip and break. They're just incredible. This one is Dan Vladar's, match the pads, obviously. Boom, there you go. But great stick. I love it. It's my favorite. It's my go-to for ice. That's the stick I use. This one's cool. So, Warrior. Just got this from my friend Fran. This is Jeremy Swayman's stick from the Boston Bruins. But the cool thing about this, let me manipulate this so you can read that. Hopefully. I don't know if you guys can see that right here, right there. But what it says, to Mark, the old man in the net, Jeremy Swayman, #1. That's pretty cool. That one I won't use. That's cool, Jeremy. Thank you, man. Thank you. On the street, I've been using this old Heaton Martin Brodeur. Look at that. Look at that. That's from hitting the post, finding my position. The stick is held up, but it's carved away, the wood. It's incredible. This is old school. The blade has worn down. It's almost now playing like a forward stick. This one's almost, it's time to retire it. I need to just go with the newer model sticks that I have. All right, that's it. That's all my equipment. That's my version of what's in the bag. Gave you a little review of what I think about some of this equipment, how I have obtained all this equipment. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a series of purchases over time. But, you know, #1, you guys, you can save money by buying a lot of this stuff used on the various different apps out there. Definitely upgraded my equipment. And again, you know, like I said earlier, that wasn't the case long ago. I couldn't afford it. Mom and Dad couldn't afford it. I didn't have it. And now I have the means to get it. So I've gone overboard. And that's all right. It's okay. I'll figure out what I want to keep and sell the rest. But anyway, next episode we'll be back on the ice or on the street or courts or wherever we end up. Obviously, the previous episode you saw, we lost in the finals on Sunday. So that league will be starting up in a week or two. And my Goons team is very near the playoffs, so we'll have more of those games. And hopefully you'll see some more ball hockey. It's been a little while since I was in the net recording video. When you don't, you know, when the ball hockey suddenly drops off, it doesn't mean I wasn't playing it. It just means I wasn't playing goalie. You know, when I play forward, I don't really record because it doesn't fit with what we're saying here, right? Old guy in the net. So anyway, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. This episode, not very exciting. It's my version of what's in the bag.